Hello and welcome back. In this lesson, we are going to take a slight detour and build a photo gallery that we are going to test in the part 2 of this video using curl. That is a command line method to check if everything is working correctly. And here is a demo of what we are going to create in this part. Let's run app.py, and as you can see we have the server running, and this is what we have. So if I click on logout and um, type in the login name and type this login, so this is invalid credentials, so I need to sign up. So if I go in here and now sign up with a login password, then this brings me to the gallery which, for that username. And here we have 100 squares, and each square is for one image. Above we see that there are 0 images uploaded and 100 empty spots. Right hand side we see the logout. So if I click on the choose file and click on any image, then upload it, we see that image here. If I click on the image, we see that it zooms out, so we can sort of zoom in, and then click on delete, it will delete the image. So let's say if we upload this image, and then I need to upload another image at some other location, so I click on that, upload this image in 15. Now if I log out and log in again with the same username, I should be able to see those images that for that account. Now if we were to create another account, so let's say if I create another username with suffix 2 and then have some password for that, sign up, and here we are. And now if we choose an image, and let's say I upload this image to 10, so this is now specific for this username. And if I log out again, log into this username, we should see that image. And if I log out and log into the first username we created, we see it has a different gallery. So that is the plan, and to make that happen, here I'm already in the project folder. So we are going to write code for the front end, which is the HTML, and then we'll write the code for the backend, which is going to be app.py file, and that will have Flask in it. So the folder structure is going to be as follows. In the project folder, we are going to create a folder called templates, and inside of templates we have to create 3 files. The first one is gallery.html, the second one is login.html, third one is signup.html. And I already have the code written for this, and that's why we are able to see this app running on the left hand side. But what I'll try and do is write out the code, type it out on the screen, and try and explain why I'm doing that, writing that code for that particular line. So hopefully that will be easier to understand, and you'll also get a feel for how the code is written. Next, apart from this, we need another folder which is called static, and in this static folder, uh, uh, all the files or photos that would be uploaded for each username would be stored. So for each username, a separate folder, I think, should get automatically created and placed in the static folder. Next, we are going to need our regular app. So this static folder has to be outside of the templates, right? Like so. So I accidentally created it in templates. Outside here, what we need is the app.py file. This is where we are going to put all the routes. And then in the static, we can create a file called styles.css. We'll put some styles here, and I'll also show you how we can directly write the styles in the HTML file. So with that all set, let's now begin writing code for the gallery.html. And as what we have been doing so far, we first type the doc type HTML, and then we can specify the language. answer inside this HTML tag. HTML language is equal to en, that should be enough, and then close angle brackets. So this is our HTML. In this HTML we have two distinct parts. One is the head and the second one is the body. So we'll let's write the head, and then we have the body, which is going to be this. So in the head then, what we are going to type are three things. The first thing is we are going to specify the character set, and this is going to be UTF-8. Then we are going to specify the title. Title is going to be photo gallery, and that is what appears in this tab in the browser, as you can see. Next is the style, and so for style we are going to put the styles here as we go. The first style that we need is the body, and here we can specify the font family. So font family is the second one, and the font family is Arial, sans serif, and then margin is 20 pixels. So that is what we have, and then the others will type as we go. In the body we need to create some partitions. So we now know what we have for the header. So head, we took care of the what name goes here and the style. This rest what we see here in the entire thing, that comes under body. And in body what we need to do is we are going to create divs, or sort of sections, and these we are going to name them. The reason why we are going to name them is because if there is any style associated with the way contents of that section need to appear, those we can specify up here in the style, or we can specify those in the styles.css. In case of gallery.html, we are simply going to put them here. So we are not using styles.css for the gallery.html file. Now here we are saying this is class info bar, and what we would like to show here is the following. We would like this to show this text: uploaded empty spots and logout. That's the front end. So to do that we use the tag strong, that will make it bold, and say uploaded, and then colon. After that we just use the ninja template to put whatever value is in the variable total, create a type of pipe operator, and then again strong for bold, and here we type empty spots, a colon, and again we are going to put the Jinja template here, which is the empty underscore spots. So that should work. So with this we should be able to see this particular line, and what I'm going to do is save this and go back in here, static, or sorry, templates, and try and open this gallery.html and see how it looks. So if I open that here, and so I was waiting for this to open. Oh, okay, it's all right. So so that's what we can see. Or else let's just open it in our Chrome browser, so which is this one, and I'm guessing we'll see it here. All right, so that is what we have uploaded. Right now this shows up as a text because we don't have anything in the backend yet, but after we do, then we should start seeing numbers there. With that, the next thing we need to get on this front page is the logout link, and to get that we come back to the same div that we have created and just add text with hyperlink. So we say angle brackets a href is equal to forward logout, and then we are going to type style is equal to, within quotes, float colon right semicolon, and then we close the angle brackets, type logout, and I think that's about it. So with this, if we now go back to photo gallery, refresh this, we see that we have that hyperlink. The hyperlink does nothing right now if I click on it, because there's nothing in the backend. And then um, here we have this particular page. So click on that, yeah, it'll do nothing. All right, before we move forward, let me just fix this typo and save the file, and then refresh this. And as you can see, it logout, it was not working earlier because that there was a typo here. Now you can see it goes to the logout, but nothing happens there because there's no page there. Next, what we are going to do is create the grid. So then this is what we'll work on now, and that is going to be another div in here. So we say div, and we can specify the class that is equal to, within quotation marks and closing angle brackets, this is called grid. And for this grid we need a style, and so we are going to go back up in our style right here, and we are going to say dot grid, which is the name of the class, name that we gave, and within open close angle brackets is where we put the style for that. So we'll say display grid semicolon, then grid dash template columns. And if you are thinking how do I know what to use here, that is because I have already tried a couple of options, and this is the look and feel I was trying to get. Repeat 10 comma 100 pixels. Then we have the grid dash gap, so gap between the boxes, gray boxes we have, so 10 pixels. Go back, go ahead and save this. Now we come back to our gallery page and refresh it, and nothing happens. Let's try. And the reason nothing happens is because we haven't put anything in the class grid yet. So let's do that first. Here we are going to use the Jinja template. So we'll say open curly braces star percent sign for I in range 100. So we are going to iterate over 100 times because we have 100 images to show in the gallery. And what this is, and with this we need to end it. And so to end this particular loop, we will say percent and for percent. That's the for loop. Now inside of the for loop, what we need to create are again sections. So the first thing we'll do here, inside of the for block, so we have this tab. Inside of the for block, what we'll do is create a div and call it class is equal to cell, closing angle brackets, call this cell, and that is what we have. So inside of each cell we are going to check if there are images or if it's an empty cell, and accordingly we'll try and upload images. So to do that, we are going to use again Jinja template percent sign if images square bracket I. So we are looking into the value at index I in images, and in below that we are going to again insert another tab and type angle brackets img src, and so image source, and here we specify the Jinja template format url underscore for, and then within quotes uploaded underscore file. And why do we have this in red? URL for, and all right, that is because this quotation should be on this other side, and we don't need that, we don't need that, and that should be fine. We don't need that as well. All right, and this is going to be in single quotes. Next piece of information that goes in here, username, because we are creating something that is a little bit interesting, where we are allowing user to create their account and then have their gallery in their own separate username account. Folder is equal to thumbs, folder is equal to thumbs, and then another file name is equal to images, then and then we have the file name. Then we are going to specify the onClick method. So we type onClick, and here we say inside of the quotation marks show image, and then we are going to close this with angle brackets. Now inside of show image, within parentheses, we need to put a bunch of stuff, and that is going to be as follows. We are going to put inside of single quotes a Jinja template, and inside of this Jinja template we'll have the URL underscore for inside of the parenthesis, and inside of this URL for we'll specify uploaded file, and then we have username is equal to session, and then specify username, and outside of that folder is equal to original, and then we have file name is equal to images square bracket I, and then we have the file name, so file name, and this will close with this parenthesis. So we have the parenthesis, then two angle brackets, and then we have this parenthesis again and that angle bracket. So this is what we have. I see that there is uh, a red line under it, uh, but don't see anything wrong there just yet. Let's go up here and in the browser refresh this, and we don't see anything here because that Jinja template is not yet running, and it will run when we have the app.py file running, that sort of brings that information back to the front end. So we'll leave this at that, and below that, once we know, so sometimes what happens is if the images don't show up in the gallery, the likely reason is that the path to the image file is not correct in the code. Next we create another div called this class is equal to caption, and this is for the purposes of the curl that we are going to use later. And here we see images square bracket I, and here is specify the caption, and so that's just that in the div. Next we create the button, which you see here, the X, and that is what allows us to delete that image after it is uploaded in the gallery, and that again goes in the same div cell that we have created. So let me delete that plus. We go down there and create a form. So form, and we give this a class is equal to, and this is called as the delete dash form, and then the method is equal to post, because we are going to send some information. Then action is equal to a forward slash, so let's say forward slash delete forward slash, and then within of curly braces we have the letter I, and then below this we are going to put the button. So button type is equal to submit, so it's a type is equal to submit, and then we have that, and then specify this icon X. All right, So that is there, and what we also need to do now is go back up here in the style and put the sort of uh, the styling for the class cell below the grid. So here is what we'll say cell, and this will have a certain width. So the width is going to be 100 pixels. So we just want to show the thumbnail of size 100 pixels by 100 pixels, no matter what the original size of the image is. And then we position it relative. So if we move around, move this around, I think it doesn't adapt to it, but it stays, the position stays relative. Then background color is let's say gray. So for gray, this is what we have. Where is the gray color? Gray, or we can type the hex value, which is this pound sign. We don't need the quotes there. Pound sign and then CCC, and there's another C there. So that just put CCC. That should get us the gray color there. Then display flex, and then we have justify content, that is in the center, and then align items. So we can align the items to the center. So again, I'm going to click center, and then flex direction, which is this, let's say column. All right, so that is what we have for the cell, which is this class. We have the style for the grid, and let's keep going now. So we do not have a style for the caption because we are going to use only for probing using curl, but we will have a style for this delete form. And so let's do that. For this, we'll say delete dash form, and then here, so there is a typo there again. Delete form, and here we are going to say right, and this is 2 pixels, and then semicolon left auto. So positioning it at that point, and I think we are good on the rest. So that is what we have for the delete form, and then we also are going to create another form below it for the else part of this particular if else block. So form, so that is this is the form for this one. So where is the, so that this is the form inside of this if. Now below that we will say else, and then we are going to create another div, and here we'll create a class called placeholder label, and close that with angle brackets, open close curly braces, I plus 1. So in every iteration we are simply incrementing the value of I. So we are incrementing the value by 1 of I, and below that is our form. So form, and this is going to have a class name, which is, you close that, bring that down. So the class name is going to be delete. So we already have done delete form. So this is the upload dash form, and the method this uses is post inside of quotes. So post, and action, we will take it to upload, and encryption enc type is equal to, again inside of quotes, multi-part, and then from data. So those are things we need there, and then inside of the form itself we are going to have the label open close, and inside of the label we have the input type is equal to file, and name is equal to file, and these are things that are required. Below this is the input, again input, and then this is the input. Inside of the input we have type is equal to hidden, and then we have the name is equal to index, again inside of the quotation marks. Then we have the value is equal to open close curly braces 2 times, and then and then the button that is goes with this form is this button. So button for upload, button type is equal to submit, and then we have the upload button. And so for upload button I'm simply going to copy paste the icon for the upload, which is this, and that's the button. So this is what we have for this second form. And again, if we go in the gallery and try and open it in here, so right now it looks like a mess, but we at least start seeing that, we see that gray circle, we see the file chosen for that we use for upload, then we have the delete button up here, we have the upload button up here, and so on. So it will make sense as soon as we run this entire thing once we build the app.py. Now below this div which we have created for end for, below this div right here we are going to create another one where we are going to show the zoomed in image. If I click on the image, we see that enlarged image, or the image in the original size. That is what this div would do. So for this we are going to give it an ID. So ID is equal to overlay. And why we need ID? Because that is the ID we are going to use in JavaScript to make that action happen. Class overlay on click is the event, and this is hide image, and then below that we have angle brackets img id is equal to, and again inside of the quotes overlay dash img, and then the source src is equal to nothing. So that is the part where we have the overlay. And now below these divs, and still inside of the body part of the HTML file, we are going to write our script, which is the JavaScript. And this is just a function which is show image, and this gets the source as input argument, and inside of this we are going to have constant overlay is equal to document dot get element by id, and that's where the labels that we have put come into play. Overlay and semicolon, next one is overlay img with a capital I is equal to document dot get element by id, and then open close parenthesis, overlay dash img, and then again semicolon. Then we have overlay img dot src is equal to the source, and then we have overlay dot style dot display is equal to flex. All of this is to show our image, and then we have another second function hide image. So if we click outside, we need to hide the image. We say constant overlay is equal to document dot get element by id, and this is again the overlay. All we need to do here is set the display to none. So overlay dot style dot display overlay dot style dot display is equal to none. Awesome. So this is the entire gallery.html file that we have built, and a couple of things that we have used here we still haven't specified in the style. We'll do that now. So we have the delete form. For overlay, we also need the cell image. So I'm going to put one here, which is dot cell img, and here within parentheses we have the width. This is 100 pixels. Then we have the height, 100 pixels. Position, we don't need the position here. So this is a cursor pointer. That's the cell image, and uh, we create a delete form. We need one for the upload form. So upload dash, let me get this before this one. So dot upload dash form, also delete form. So dot delete form, and this is the, we also have delete form down there, but this is something that will be common to both upload form, delete form. Position absolute semicolon bottom, this is going to have 2 pixels, and then we have the left which is going to have 2 pixels. Right, so upload form, delete form, all good. Then we have the dot overlay, and this is where we have a bunch of stuff to write. So display is none. Then we have position is fixed, top 0. Then we have left again, left again 0. Then we have width, that is 100, and then we have background, which is RGBA, and this is 0, 0, 0, 0.8. So this is the background. Then we have justify content, and for justify content we are going to use center, and after that align items, and to align items we'll again align them in the center. So that's what we have for the overlay style. And then we have similar thing again, overlay image img, and for this we say max dot width is going to be 90, and then we have the max dash height, and this is going to be vh 90 vertical height. All right, so that is what we have there. Need a semicolon. Awesome. So what are we missing? So we have this info bar, we need to put in something for the info bar, so we say dot info dash bar, and here we say margin dash bottom is 15 pixels, and apart from that we have, what do we have, placeholder label. So for placeholder label we'll create dot place holder dash label, and in here we'll say font font size is 72 pixels, so it's the large font we are creating, so the numbers that we see. Font weight is bold, we see those bolded images as you see these, that's what we are creating. And then we have the color is font sign 666, as that's the color we have. And below that we, what else do we need? Upload form, I think we are done. Upload form, we are done with that. Upload form input, that is remaining, so let's type that in here. Upload form input type, type is equal to file, and the values we are going to put in here is display colon, this is going to be a block. Then you have margin 4 pixels auto, 2 pixels auto, so that's all 4 sides we are looking at. And then we have the font size, font dash size, this is just 10 pixels px, followed by max width, that is 90 pixels. Perfect. And the last thing, I think we need to put values for upload form, and this is the label, and this is just, we'll say display block. All right, so that those are all the styling we have for the stuff that we have used in this file. Next, what we'll do is create the login page and the sign up page. Now for the login page, we begin the same way as we did for the gallery page. We say that this is HTML, we have the HTML tag. Inside of the HTML tag we have the head, and then we have the body. Now inside of the head we have the title, and the title is simply login. And then for the another part that we have here is the link to the CSS, so style. I will say this is style sheet, and we specify the link href is equal to, within quotes, within curly braces, let me put the quotes, closing quotes there, close the angle brackets there, and then close that. And in here we'll say url underscore for, and this is static, and inside we also need to specify file name is equal to styles.css, so that is referring to this styles.css, and we'll start putting stuff in it now. So inside of the body, then what we are going to have is create section. So we have the div, and this div we are going to call this class is equal to class is equal to login dash container, and in this login container we have a heading h2 which shows us the login. So if I go back to that, see, this is what we see, the login, and then we have the if block, if else. So if error, if there is an error, that means if the password is wrong, then we say uh, p for paragraph class is equal to error, and here we specify some message that we get. So error, right now we are just putting the variable name that will contain the value, and it will get clear as we type the app.py code later on. So with that we end this by putting percent and if percent. So that is what we have there, and below that is our form, and the form is still inside of the div. So we say form method is equal to post. So this is going to be method is equal to post, and we have input. So input, we have one input, then we have a second input. So we have two inputs, and then we have another input, and each of these input are different. So the first one is going to be type text, because we are going to type some username, and we'll give this a name which is username. And next we also have this as a placeholder username, and this is what shows up in that gray right now, what shows in the blank box, username, and this is required, we cannot move forward without it. And then the second we have again type, and this is going to be password. So it is text, but we say it as password, and so that box works as a password, so encrypts it. When we type it, puts that star password, and then the placeholder, here we say password, password with the uppercase P, and again this is required for the login. And finally there is this submit, so login that we say in the form. Type is equal to submit, and value is equal to login, login with the uppercase L. So that is the form. And now if 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 the person does not have a login, we need to have this text below it. Don't have an account, then please sign up. So for that we'll create another paragraph. We say don't have an account, and question mark, and then we specify the URL. A href is equal to, and again this is the Jinja template we are using with the double curly braces, and inside of that we are going to type URL underscore for, on here it says sign up, and outside of this where is it, so right here, I think that's where we need a closing quotes there, that's why that read. Okay, sign up here, and we close that out with this. So paragraph don't have an account, a href, which is this, and then we say sign up here, and then that closes the div. So I'm going to save that. Again we go to this login, open in the browser, and we see those boxes up here. Nothing will happen, but that's and we do have the sign up. It won't work right now because we haven't put anything in signup.html. So let's go ahead and do that. So for signup.html, uh, which if we click on this, this is what we have, and most of the stuff is this. The layout is the same. So I'm going to simply take this login stuff, put that here, and do a little changes. So title is going to be sign up, sign up with the uppercase F, and then style sheet will stay the same as what we had, and this is not we'll use the login container here. This is, instead of login, we'll change this to create account, and if there is a error, then show the error, and the method is post. We again have three inputs: text, password, submit. So this is username, password, and then instead of login we have sign up, show on the button. So the text that you have here, that's the sign up. Then for placeholder, instead of username we are going to say choose username. Instead of password we are going to say choose password. Just a little hint for the uh, uh, user to know what needs to be done next. And then uh, here we'll change this text a little bit. We'll say already have an account. If yes, then there's no need to sign up. You can directly go to the login page, and therefore we link put the link to the login right here. Login. All right, so this is done as well. If we go back to this login, says click on sign up, nothing happens, and that is because, not that because we don't have code here. The reason is we haven't linked these Jinja templates yet because we don't have anything in the backend. Before we get to the backend part, I just wanted to put the styles in the CSS. So let's go back here. The first style that we can put for the body is, we'll say body open parenthesis curly braces. We'll say font dash family, and this is Arial comma sans dash serif. Then we have margin is equal to, so margin colon 0, and then we have the padding colon 0, background, and this is font sign f f4 f4 f4. So that's what we have there. And then for the header, again we have the background. So background is font sign 333. Just use that. Then color is white, and then we have the padding is 1 em, not p, just the em. Display is flex, justify content space between, and there's no reason why the styling has to be exactly like this. Feel free to change and try out different things in styling. This is what I have used to create this particular app that I showed earlier, and so I'm going to type the same thing. That's for the header. And then what we have is the login container. So dot login dash container, and this is what we use. So that's the login container we are using. So login container max dash width, and then we say colon 400 pixels, margin 100 pixels, auto. Then we have background is white, and padding 2 em, text align, will align its center, and then border dash radius, which is this one, we'll have that radius at 8 pixels. Box dash shadow, some shadow effect. So if we go back and look at this, a little shadow effect on the side, shadow 0 0, sorry, this is 0 0 10 pixel, and RGBA, and in parentheses 0 comma 0 comma 0 comma 0.1. So that is what we have for the styling of the login container. Then we also have .login dash container space input, and for this we have the margin. We set that to 0.5 em, 0, and padding we set that to 0.5 em. Width we set that to 100%, and so that's what we have. So let's see if we have all of them. Login container is done. Class error, so let's put something for class error. Go back to styling, so dot error, and for error we are going to say color is equal to red, and font dash weight is bold. So that's what we have for the error. Apart from this, I think we are good. So that's the class login container. There's nothing. So that's the class error, and that is exactly the same code we have in the other file. And gallery we are not using the styles.css because we haven't specified or linked it here, just as we did here in the signup.html or login.html. Cool. So we have all of these set up. What we'll do now is write out the code in app.py, which is going to be the backend and the Flask side of the app. Let's now work on the app.py file, and here we are going to import a couple of modules from Flask. Import Flask, render template, request, redirect, URL underscore for, session, send from directory, JSONify. Then we are also going to import from, work, zip.utils, import secure file name, and this is to make sure that even if the name has some special characters, it won't crash the code. From URL lib.parse, import parse underscore qs, and that is to parse the query. From pil import image, this is what we'll use to handle the images in our gallery. Import os to look at the routes to access these files. Right, so to instantiate the app, we say app is equal to flask underscore underscore name underscore underscore, and then we set app.config, and here this is dictionary, so we create the key session underscore permanent is equal to false. Then we set the app.secret underscore key is equal to super secret key. Next, we create global variables. Upload folder is equal to, this is static uploads. Then we create thumbnail underscore size, that is equal to 100 by 100, and then we have max images is equal to 100, and then os.make dirs upload. So this is where it will create the folders for each of those usernames. Exists exist underscore okay is equal to true. Oops, so exist underscore okay is equal to true. Right, so if the folder is not there, it will create the folder. Next we create some default values. So users is equal to create a dictionary of the username login, password is password. So if we type when we use curl, this is what we can use. So without having any usernames, we can use just a admin password to log in. And then user underscore images is going to be simply an empty dictionary where we are going to store the file names for each of the users of image file names. And then the important parts, app.route. We'll have one route which is for the base URL, then app.route. The next route we are going to have is for the login, and here we can specify the methods inside of the square brackets, which is the get and post. So we have both of these that we are going to use, and below that we are going to create app.route, which is for sign up. So / sign up, and again here we are going to use the methods, which is both get, and we are going to use the method post. Then after the login and sign up, the next we are going to use is logout. So let's create that app.route logout. Now below logout we are going to create another one, that is upload, app.route, and this is going to be upload, and upload is going to have one method. So methods is equal to, this is just going to have the post method because we are just uploading the file, and after the uploads is done we have app.route, and here we have something for the delete. So delete, and this, we to know what is to be deleted, this will have a value of index, and again the method we use here. So methods is equal to post for the delete as well. After that, so as you can see, this is pretty elaborate code we are writing. Then we have at app.route, and this is the uploads, and then we have the username, and then we have the folder, and then we have the file name. So several things that are going to be brought in here. After we have that, the last one is add app dot route, and this is what we'll use when we use the curl. So this is update / update, and here we specify int photo underscore id, and we again have methods for this. So methods is going to be put. So that is the last part one. We have the last route that we need to specify, which is the debug. So it's a debug, and that's all. And finally we have if name underscore is equal to underscore main underscore, then we have the app dot run debug is equal to true, port is equal to 5001. Perfect. So this is what we have, like the skeleton or the outline of the backend file that we are going to create. Now let's for each of these we have to write a function. So whenever that particular route is activated, the task in that function would So for index, which is the root, we are going to create a function def index, and here say if authenticated not not in session, then return redirect url underscore for and login. So if somebody tries to log in, so if we are here and if there is no active session for that user, it's going to redirect to the login page. And then below that, we are going to the username is equal to session, and this is username. So the username is going to be saved in the session, and so we access the session, which is a dictionary. Then we can get the username from there, and then we check if username not in user underscore images, then we create it. Then we create user underscore images square bracket username, without the quotes, username in that username, and then we assign sort of the placeholders. So none times max. So we create a list of 100. So 100, why 100? Because we specified max image is 100. So we create an empty list of 100 nuns, and so that's like a placeholder. Then below that we say images is equal to user images username, and then below that is empty underscore spots is equal to images dot count none. So however many nuns are there in that list, those many would be the empty spots. Return render template. So we are going to render the gallery.html, and what this is going to need is the following. It will need the information about the images. So images is equal to images, then we have empty spots is equal to empty spots, and total is equal to max images minus empty spots, total images that have been uploaded. That's what that says. So this is done, and then we need to type the login part. So for login, uh, let's create a function def login, and here if request dot method is equal to post, if that is the case, then do the following. Username is equal to request dot form dot get. So some form will come in, and from that form we are going to extract two pieces of information. The first is the username, and the second is the password. So we already got the username there. Now let's get the password. Password is equal to request dot form dot get, and here we say password. I remove that period there. Now if username in users and username is equal to the password, so here we are sort of trying to verify if that username and password combination matches with what is already stored in that in users. So it's a session or authenticated. If that happens, then in the session dictionary we change the value or update the value of the key authenticated to true, and also session username uh, we uh, we put the value of the username in that key username in the session. And following that, we simply return redirect URL underscore for, and we send that to the index. Else, if it does not match, we say render template, and here we say login.html. So we show the same page, uh, but this time we are going to specify invalid credentials. What we are doing is we are asking it to render login.html, which is this one, but then we specify value, and that value for error will show up here in this paragraph, and that is exactly what we are trying to show. After that, once we have done that, for the outer if, which is this one, we are going to return render template login.html. So that's what we have for the HTML login part. Now for the sign up part, we create a function sign up, and here if request dot method is equal to post, then username is equal to request dot form dot get username, and below that we have password is equal to request dot form dot get, and here we get the yeah, that was the username, and now we get the password. Once we so this is a spelling mistake, password, okay. And then we have another if statement in here. So if username in users, and then return render template signup.html, we specify the error is equal to username already exists, so we don't need duplicate usernames. Next, in here we say users, and then username is equal to password. So we are updating the users, which is the dictionary that we have created above. We are adding the name of the user and the accompanying password there. Then user underscore image. Likewise, you update the dictionary for user images. If we go back up, that's the user images dictionary. User images, spin here username, and here we specify none star max images, and then we again say session authenticated is equal to true, session username is equal to username, return redirect redirect URL underscore for index, return render template signup.html. Next, for the logout, we are going to create a function def logout, and here we are going to session.pop authenticated none, So we sort of remove that key, and then session dot pop username none, return again redirect URL underscore for login. Now let's write the function upload, and this is going to have a couple of conditions that we need to check. And so a little bit longer function. Upload, and here we first check if authenticated, if this is true, and if authenticated not in. So here we are simply checking if not in session. If that key is not in the session, then the return, it means that the user hasn't authenticated. So we say return uh, redirect URL for, and we say, all right, please go and log in first before we can upload anything to the gallery. Then if the user is authenticated, then we can get that information. Username is equal to session, and we can get that information from the session dictionary. So we just say username inside of square brackets for session, and we get that. Now next we take that username and not in user images. Again we check if there is a dictionary created. So if no dictionary is already created for that username, if it's a new user, then we create the dictionary by using the max images, and we just create like 100 placeholders of none. And then we check if file not in request dot files, then we return redirect and then URL for, and here we send back to the index. Next we are going to get the file. So file is equal to request dot file, and we get the file request dot file, and this is going to be files inside of square brackets. Don't need the parenthesis. Files. Then we take that file. If file dot file name is equal to nothing, if it's blank, then again we send back redirect URL for, and we send back to the index. Again we then take the index and get request, sorry, let's go back. Yep. So we say request dot files file, sorry, my mistake. So here once we are at the index, we need to get the information from the form in for form dot get, and here we get the values for index, and then check if index is none or not in index dot is digit, then we are going to return redirect URL for, again send back to index. Otherwise we say index is equal to int index, and if this index less than 0 or index is greater than or equal to max images, then again we return redirect URL for index. And finally, if file, then we take the file name is equal to secure file name, the one that we imported earlier, file name, and then user. Then we do three things. We get the user folder, then we get the thumb folder, and then we get the full folder with D. So for the user folder, we do os.path.join upload folder, comma username. Then here we say os.path.join. This is user folder, and we give this blank thumbs name. So that's what we'll have the name there, and then we have the os.path.join, and this is user underscore folder, and this folder is going to be original. So that's the original image is for the thumbnail, 100 pixels by 100 pixels, and that's just a username. With these, we are then going to make these directories if they don't exist. So os dot make dirs, this is the thumb folder, exist okay is equal to true, and then again os dot make dirs is for the full folder that we have, exists okay is equal to true. Right, so all that done, then we save original to the full path. So this is for saving original, then we create something to saving thumbnail, and for original here is what we are going to do, and that is full underscore path is equal to os.path.join full folder, comma file name, and then file.save full path. So that's that. And for the thumbnail part, we have thumb underscore path is equal to os.path.join thumb folder, file name, img is equal to image.open full path that we just created, full path. So we read the image using img.open, img.thumbnail, and here we say what the thumbnail size should be, 100 pixels by 100 pixels. Then we save that resized image to the thumbnail path that we create. So that's what happens here. We take the thumbnail, resize it, and put it in appropriate folder. Then we update the user images dictionary, user underscore images, and here username and index is equal to the file name colon file name, and then we have the caption. This is specifically for us to check what happens when we use curl. So no direct visual effect we'll see, but just the way the curl will allow us to get information without using the browser. Return redirect URL for, and within parentheses we specify index. So that was pretty long function, app.route. And if you're wondering how I'm typing without making any mistakes, the reason is I've already worked on this several times, And also there may be errors which I don't know right now, but when we run this we may run into errors, so we'll sort them one by one at that time. The next is delete. So we specify the function delete, and this takes in index as the input. If authenticated not in session, so this is which we already check. If the user has not logged in, then we simply send the user back to the login page, and that is what this is doing. Okay. Next, if the user is logged in, then we can get the username from the session. So session, we get the username, and once we have the username, if username, we then check if that exists in the user images dictionary, user underscore images or not. And here we also check the value is 0, greater than equal to index, less than equal to index, less than max images. And if that is true, then we say return. Again, redirect URL, URL for index. If the user images are there, then we say image underscore data is equal to user images, then username, and then we have index. So the image that we are wanting to delete. Here we say if image data, then file name is equal to image data file name, and then you get the thumbnails. Thumb path is equal to, and then we also need to get the full path is equal to so os.path.join. Here we have the upload folder, username, thumbs. So that's the sort of the tree that gets created for each user. And then we have os.path.join, again upload folder, username, original, and then we have the file name. And below that, if os.path.exists thumb path, if that path exists, then we can go ahead and delete it. So os.remove thumb path. And likewise, if os.path.exists, this is for the full resolution image full path, then also we are going to remove the full path. That is to say, we are essentially deleting stuff. And then here we say user underscore images, username, index. Sorry, this has to be outside, so we create that, and then here we say is equal to none. So because we deleted, we need to update the value for index to none for that user, and eventually then we return, again redirect URL for URL for, and here we specify index. All right, so that is what the delete would do. And then for here uploads, we create uploaded underscore file, and this takes in username, folder, file name, and then below that return send from directory os.path.join, and we have uploaded folder, username, folder, and then comma, file name. It probably looks like I'm just keeping on typing, but I'll explain what is happening here. Send from directory is what we had imported, and what we are doing here is we are giving it a path to a file that would get uploaded. Once we have that, and then this is the last one, which is sort of optional. We'll use it when we use curl. So this is update caption, and we'll see what it does, how it updates the caption for a photo in the browser. Photo underscore id, and then username is equal to admin, and that's the we are hard coding that username. If username is not in user images, or not 0 less than or equal to photo id less than max images, then return JSONify error, and then the value is invalid photo index, and then comma 404. Otherwise, photo underscore slot is equal to user underscore images square bracket username, then we have photo id, photo underscore id. If not photo slot, return JSONify. Again, if that's not there, then we send out this message error, no caption provided, no caption provided, and 404. Photo slot is equal to caption is equal to caption return, then if then we return JSONify. If everything is good, then we return this message. So this is inside here, message, and this is a f string caption updated for photo underscore id, and this is 200. So that is how the caption would get updated when we use curl from the command line, and we'll see that dictionary, updated dictionary in the browser. We'll look at that in the next video. Next, here we'll create the last function dev, which is debug user images, and from Flask import response, import JSON, return, and then here we type JSON, and we say return response JSON.dumps user underscore images, indent is equal to 2, and here we specify MIME type is equal to application /JSON. With this, we are now set to run our app for the very first time. Um, so I'm going to close out this previous running session and then cd into this directory, which is L26, clear the screen, look at the files, and then run python app.py. And right now, if we go in here, run this, we see that cannot be reached because the app is not running. We run this, and now is the part where we start debugging. And this is in app.py. If index none or not in index, let me see where this is. Line 86, we scroll down, line number. All right, so here, right, figure out what the problem was. We don't need that in there, just need that. And let's try and run this again. So this time it's line 155, which is this one. Photos, photo underscore slot 155 photo, and there is update caption part, photo underscore slot caption. Oh, my mistake. I should have seen that while typing. Let's run this. Next is cannot import again. Probably made a lot of typos. Import redirect. Let's go back up. DIRECT and run this again. Alright, module not found again, probably made a typo there as well. WERKZEUG.utils, missing the I. Okay, malformed URL, delete. Let's go to delete. Where is the delete? There's the delete. I'm missing the closing angle brackets there. Alright, so let's keep going. Oh wow, all right, so this is now working. Let's see, but that does not mean that all the errors are resolved. I will see this. We have the login, but the login is not the same. We don't see it appear the same way as it did when I showed you the page. Let's type Nilesh and let's say 123 login, and nothing happens. It doesn't take me to the uh, to the uh, to the page. Yeah, so it won't let me log in, but the message should have appeared, right? So if I say this and for 123, it doesn't show the message that please log in. So I need to go in and sign up. So I go in here, sign up, like so, and that should now take me. Okay, so there you go. That's the error. Let me find out why. Alright, so I found one error. If we navigate to the styles.css in the login container, there needs to be one more additional 0 here. So I'm going to do that, save this, and then again close this out, rerun this, app.py, go back here, run this, uh, render template, let's see, okay, I'm going to, this time nothing worked. So I'm going to copy this and paste it here. Okay, so this is the entire error. Return render template gallery.html, that is from the app.py file. And let's go back here and check. Let's go to app.py, and figure out where the problem is. Div class, this is fine. So a couple of things that I need to fix, and these are uh, pretty obvious. This misspelled should be styles, and I'm guessing it's the same mistake I've made in here because just copy pasted the code. Styles. Then if we go down in here, see this error, so I need to fix that by putting double quotes, sorry, double, uh, by putting the double curly braces there, and I'm hoping that this should fix the issue. If not, I'll probably run into this. So this is the class grid, and in the class grid we have the for loop, and then in the for loop we have the if else. So this looks okay now, and let's save this file, save this file, save this file, and save this file as well. I'm going to close this instance that was running, clear, and then run python app.py again, and then go back into the browser and run this again. Now we do get that login box that we would expect. Then we could go in and sign in. So let's say we have this login, so sign up, and now the error is here, Jinja exception, unknown end for, and that is where, that is a render template. So app.py line 29, app.py line 29, render template gallery.html. So the error is telling us unknown tag end for, right? So figured out what the problem was. This is telling us that line 46 there is a end for. If I come back to this line 46 in gallery.html, I see that I do have the if, but I forgot to add the end if after here. So what we need to do is we need to add end if, and that's the syntax for Jinja template, and that should fix the error hopefully. So we can again stop that instance, go back up, run this again, go into the browser, type that, and looks like we are in the gallery. So if I log out and try and log in with the password that we just created, um, we don't have an account, so we don't see that text which tells us that this credential is invalid. So we'll fix that, and let's say 123. Okay, so we are in here. Let me try and see if we can upload any file. So I just say cat, then click upload, so that works. If I click on that, zoom in does not work, and for zoom in, cats.original. Okay, so the zoom in part is not working. Let's see if the delete part works. If I click on this, delete works just fine. It's the zoom in part that's not working. Upload this. Let's say if we upload a random image here, does that still work? Okay, that works. If I log out and log in again with the same ID, it still retains the pictures. And if we now go in and create a new ID, let's say create that one with 2 and sign up. Now if we, let's say we enter the same cat image right here, and maybe the dog image at 11, and log out. So the when we click on that, the zoom in part is not working, so we'll fix that. But apart from that, I think if we go back to the earlier account, we should still see the files that okay. So looks like we are almost there. The code is working except for two things. One is if I try and type some password or username password combination that does not exist, we do not get that error message showed up here, so we need to fix that. And then the second one is the zoom in part. Right, so the reason why we did not see that invalid credentials show up if you type the wrong login password combination or username password combination is because I forgot to add the return. So we need else return render template. Now if we save this, go back here, or let me just refresh this, continue, and here you can see that if we type the correct one, then uh, looks like in the session restarted. Let me close this, try this again, and go to the root URL. That's the login. We sign up. Let's say we already have an account. Let's try this, and we see that invalid credentials. So we go in and sign up. We are here. If I log out and now log in again, this time because we have already the password, this allows us to log in. So that issue is fixed. Next thing to fix is the zoom in part. So if I go to gallery.html, this is where the JavaScript part comes into play. Right, so figured what the problem was. If we come down in this JavaScript part in the gallery.html, see I've made a typo. So this should be overlay. So I've swapped these, so it should be LA, not AL, and that should now work. So we have overlay.style flex, and now if we save this file, go back here and restart, and go back up here to the root URL, run this. It likely is not going to have the user, so we sign up, and once we sign up, we are in the gallery. And once we are in the gallery, I just say upload, click on that. Now we can see that it does show us the original image, but the problem is if I click outside it, the whatever we would like to go back to the original, it doesn't allow us to do that. So if I click on another cat and upload that, it'll do it'll allow us to do that. But if I click somewhere here, it won't go away. So that needs to be fixed as well. So the hide image, again, let's check if there are typos here. Overlay document get element by ID, overlay style dot display none. So this looks okay. We go down here and look at where is it? So let me find out what the error is and I'll come back again. Right, so I think I found out what the problem was. Let's say if we had this image, we log out and log in. Let's sign up again, sign up, and if we upload an image, like so, if I click on this, the gray box that we see, that needs to be full. Let's see, if I click outside, nothing happens, but if I click on the gray box, it does disappear. So what I'm missing is here in the HTA gallery.html where it says overlay. This needs to be viewport width 100, and I forgot to add the height. So height is again 100 viewport height VH. Now if we save this, if I just refresh this like so, we see that this is now full screen. So if I click outside, it will work. The last part I think that we need to fix is this delete button. The delete button is working. All right, so let's try again. We put that image there, then we put another image here, and okay, so where did I right here, and we put another image, let's say, of the same dog, and for some reason we need to delete this first image, so we do that and log out and then log back in again, and we see that that image deleted is gone. But then, oh, looks like we lost this image as well. That image is gone too. If I let's try this. Image is uploaded. You upload the same image here and log out. We log back in and we see that both images are there. Now I delete this image. Okay, so that is an issue. If I delete the image that is the same file name, even though you uploaded it twice, it will delete both the instances. To fix this problem, what we can do is replace this line with something else. So what we do is, right now the file name, we are retaining the original file name, and that's why when we delete, it deletes all the files with the same name. What we need to do is change the file name. So here is how we can do this. Here I'm going to say, instead of file name, let's say original file name, and then secure file name dot file name. Here we say unique prefix is equal to UUID, and so to use UUID we need to import it. Import UUID, and then we come back down here, UUID dot UUID 4 dot x, and in square brackets colon 8, and then we are using a prefix and then creating a file name. File name is equal to this, the f string, which is unique prefix, so it's like a hash key, then we have underscore original file name, and this should fix the issue. So I'm going to save this. Python app.py, the Python app.py, and I'm going to copy this thing, close that tab, paste it here. This is what we have. Log out, just sign in again, and here we are. We then upload this, upload the file. We were able to do that. Delete the file, that works too. Again, try and upload the file. Click on that, it works. Outside, it works too. Then I upload another instance of the same file. That's what we have. Then upload another one, which is a different file, and then just delete one of these. So let's delete the first one, and so first one is gone. Log out, then go back in, like so, and the first one is gone, the second one is still there, and we have the dog image as well. Cool. So we now have the working code for our photo gallery, and it's been a long video, but I hope that you got a glimpse into what how we go about creating such a gallery using the HTML, CSS, JavaScript frontend and the Flask Python backend. And as you can see, just as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 main files that we have here. Right, so with this we are going in the next part of the same lesson. We are going to use curl to probe into this particular photo gallery app that we have created and see how we can use curl to get some useful information to check if everything is working correctly with this app. Thank you, and I hope to see you all in the next video. Please like, share and subscribe.